nonostante, I shall respond to your question.
Take care of yourselves tonight. Take care of your voices. Be careful of slippery grass.
Cry out with a fiery sigh.
I like Clorilli because she's really strong and independent. And there's shocking parallels to a lot of the women you see written today. I just think that's a testament to the women's movement. So yeah.
Want the pedals when Bernardi speaks a prologue, or maybe earlier?
Maybe during the song.
Yes, good morning. I'm Eric Nicholson, and I am a professor here in the Liberal Studies program at New York University Florence.
Told me great things about Christilla and Dinan.
And Professors Cox, Sampson, and Wainwright are putting together this edition of this previously lost play that existed only in manuscript, and nobody had seen it, in fact, until Professor Sampson rediscovered it in the Marciana Library of Venice about 8 years ago. And she, along with Professors Cox and especially Professor Wainwright, have been translating it and seeking a venue for producing it.
Clorilli in particular is given distinct visibility. She appears in 1/3 of the scenes, 10, the second most of any character, and she's the only lover to appear across the two parts of the play. Clorilli demonstrates mastery in verbal wit and irony through her sparring, her contrasti, her experience of regaining, as she puts it, her original liberty.
My name's Marina Schumacher, and I'm playing Clorilli. It's a proto-feminist pastoral play that centers around the lives of two groups of lovers.
Che bella canzone! Buonasera amici e benvenuti. Thank you for coming. I am Linfadusa, and I have been an inhabitant of these wondrous hills since the great, generous Atlas crowned them with such grand, lofty towers. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Leonora Bernardi, poet and playwright.
I'll be talking about the life of the author, Leonora Bernardi, who wrote the recently discovered pastoral play that we're celebrating in this workshop. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about Leonora Bernardi's life. It's not literally true that Bernardi was unknown before the discovery of the play we're talking about this evening, but I think it's fair to say that she was very little known indeed. When she first came onto my radar in the late 1990s as one of the earliest women writers to have written a secular play, a lost pastoral drama, lost at the time, she seems to have set herself up as an important cultural figure in Lucca.
Actually, if you move around it, like stage right, cross, yeah. No, it's better. It's better, yeah. Well, just try to stay in that plane where Miranda is, where Luz Miranda is. Yeah, don't come too far forward. And anyway, the audience will be here anyway, so you ought to stay.
I think it's really important to see the works of feminist writers, especially back in the Renaissance, during the Counter-Reformation, post-Counter-Reformation.
Staging this play itself was an act of research and understanding of the conditions, the phenomenon, you might say, of pastoral drama and its production and performance in its social context of that time, and to explore in a research-based manner the coordination of the production, the movements of the actors, the presence of the audience in a green space on a green lawn, and most particularly in this one, how you might say it, a square, an open courtyard lawn surrounded by hedges in the gardens near this green theater.
Sì, 2 metri sarà sufficiente, sì, per arrivare anche all'altezza.
Qui c'è l'altezza del sotto.
Per arrivare, per non vedere dove diventa buio in basso del fiume.
Contrastato con il sole di...
May thirsty herds never disturb your tranquil wings, and
Instead, my Diana and her beautiful nymphs take refuge here from the blazing heat and bathe their limbs in your calm springs.
My name is Cameron Anderson. I teach at Brandeis University in the Theater Arts Department, and I'm a scenic and projections designer, and I work in New York and Boston, across the United States, and also abroad.
Yeah. So when you hear "She Flew Away From Me," that means you guys are going to move over in front of the fountain and pull this fabric kind of across, and we'll go through all of this.
One of the main ideas that's explored in pastoral drama is this notion of going into the natural world, or being brought out of the modern world and exploring this natural realm. And it was actually very self-conscious when the play was written, that the people of the court were imagining what life in the country was like.
I gave it no credence.
Well, although it is true that many dreams prove to be false, a good dream can predict the truth.
Yes, among thousands and thousands of dreams filled with lies and falsehoods.
It's becoming very popular to move productions outside of theaters and into found spaces, into warehouses, into spaces that bring specific meanings. So you'll often create a piece of theater in a space, particularly because that space carries a meaning. So you might do a production in a prison or in a graveyard or somewhere where the very ground that you're standing on brings meaning to the piece. This is all happening right in this moment. We're discovering these things for the first time, and problem solving and working outside just practically is so challenging in theater. If it rains, we have a backup plan. If we go here, we go there. The projector's going to get wet. There's so many things that can happen that we then sort of instantaneously have to shift gears.
Gardens of Villa La Pietra. The site was a natural, a perfect fit for this play that is set in the world of nature, and in fact in some ways does concern the relationship of civilization with the natural world.
So, wonderful. Yeah. Any questions, concerns?
Time's still at 6 tomorrow or earlier?
The call's at 6, yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So we have like somewhat decent bottles of wine for.
Do you want to start it? Wait, where are we going?
Hi, I'm Andrew Cohen. I played Foligno, and I was also an assistant producer for Clorilli.
I turned 17 when fate guided me to a place where, among many nymphs, there lived the most beautiful angel.
So my vision for the show as a producer, I mean, you know, we as producers, we kind of gather everything together and then let it build itself. So I don't know if I had a specific vision, but I definitely saw it as something that used the site and it used the naturally available resources at La Pietra to its advantage. And I think it couldn't have been done better in that aspect. I think the fact that you walked through the gardens, the fact that you saw the hills, you saw the fountains, you saw all these things that were there and were actually referenceable in the show. It was just absolutely amazing to take an audience on this journey, not just with us in an acting and a theatrical standpoint, but from a physical standpoint, to actually take them on a journey and to transport them back those 300, 400, 500 years that this play kind of tries to emulate that time period. So I definitely think that kind of vision was realized.
One thing I think is hard with this language is it's hard for us to express the emotions that are human in heightened language, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. May trees and the mountain tops that breathe.
The music itself is not necessarily particularly difficult in each of its individual parts. But when you put the individual parts together, you get this texture of music where you can hear the different voices illustrating the music in different kinds of ways.
Through his music, plants and flowers ever sprung, as sudden showers there had made a lasting spring.
But what you will hear is a single solo voice enacting a part. The accompaniment is provided by a semi-improvised ensemble who are following the rhythmic patterns of the singer who has a lot of freedom because they don't have to keep in time with 4 other people who are singing at the same time. They're just singing their part, and you can hear in the voice of this person, the music is literally enacting the emotional experiences that the person is having.
Yeah. So this is setting up for an organ sound, right? Yeah. Because can we try harpsichord? Yeah, just like
holding hands with the other people. And that would be vaguely man, woman, man, woman, man, woman.
My name is Ellie New. I am the assistant director and choreographer of Clorilli. I think that one of the most interesting parts about Clorilli to me is this kind of proto-feminist movement that it was born out of, and the fact that the playwright is a female, which was unusual at the time. And you can really see reflected in the characters of Clorilli and Licosta and even Armilla and some of the other female characters of the play, this interest in how women are supposed to act versus how they naturally act.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can like watch some videos. Sometimes they'll like take the scarf, like if the scarf is in my hand like this, they'll like put it around their neck, which is really pretty. Okay. You can like do whatever feels right for Clorilli. Well, I was really excited to see the play the first time that we rehearsed in the gardens all together. That I think was a really big turning point for the cast and for the crew as well. We had a lot of really interesting work that we did in classrooms and even working outside a little bit in the amphitheater here on campus, but once you enter the gardens and you kind of place the scenes in these spaces, they really come alive.
Remember, Italian dogs, they don't say bow wow, it's bow bow, right? It's bow bow. Italian roosters, they don't say cock-a-doodle-doo, they peekity-kee. So, animals speak different languages too. So,
courteous minister of the sacred temple showed us the sacred order to the holy sacrifice. And with what great piety.
My makeup is done by Julia Vialone, the makeup artist in the show. She did a great job. Since I play a 70-year-old man and I'm 19 years old, I had to look older. My name is Maurice Ben-Simeon. I play the character of Alfizibeo.
Although dreams can often be false, a good dream can predict the truth.
Yes, but among thousands and thousands of dreams full of lies and falsehoods, you will scarcely ever find a single true one. And what I think about my character in the show, it's interesting because although he's not a large part, he's like the father of like the main character, and he opens the show with like the tone that he misses his son. So he kind of sets the tone for the whole show of like the story of why, like he sets the tone for this entire show basically. So that's what I think of my character in the show, and that's why it's cool.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good energy, yeah.
Right,
It's a little fuzzy at the end, but you focused, yeah, you kept it going. It was good.
I can't break
yeah, you were really concentrated. It was a pleasure, Mike.
I'm Jeremy, and I play Filemone. It's incredibly exciting to be able to play this character because he's incredibly dynamic, he's incredibly almost bipolar in terms of how he's incredibly down and depressed and then incredibly up and excited about any even slight possibility of getting back with his lover.
How can it not awaken pity in your beautiful breast? Why does the sun of your eyes not rise brighter than ever before to greet these?
Bit of a confusing character because well, he's incredibly suicidal throughout the play and just becomes more and more so. Yet ends up pulling through at the end and becoming revived by his love, Clorilli.
Isn't this enough for you? Isn't it enough, even for someone so cruel like you, to have him tormented like this? How will you be able to cause the death of one who lives
Hi,
for
my
you?
name is Luzmina Crespo, and I play both Armilla and Licosta. The way I got involved into the play was I heard about it at the very beginning of the school year, and I just really wanted to be a part of it because I am a drama major at NYU Tisch School of the Arts, and so I just wanted to keep the theater going on in my life.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5.
I think my favorite part of the process was actually the filming. Not because it was, it was amazing to have it filmed and filmed in the quality that it was, but I think just because that was the first time I got to see our entire cast come together and realize that we had put together a project, that we had actually worked on a piece of theater, and we had actually created something together.
We've come a long way, you guys. We created a piece that was very important for the age that it was.
No matter what play you're doing, you ask yourself, why are we doing this play now, right? Especially with opera or Shakespeare, when there have been multiple productions of it. I always say to myself, why do this Hamlet now? And you find the answer to that question, whether it's a political moment or, just a psychological state that you want to investigate in that moment. But those are the questions we're asking ourselves in order to make it meaningful to our audience.
Zefiro torna, Zefiro, Zefiro, Zefiro torna, Zefiro, Zefiro, Zefiro torna, torna Zefiro, torna, torna, torna Zefiro, Zefiro torna, di soa di argentina, va grato, di soa.